Yaren immediately straightened, her body tense as a flicker of panic crossed her eyes, only to be quickly replaced by a mask of calm composure. Wubin stepped into the room, his movements measured and deliberate as he closed the distance between them. Without a word, he reached out and took her hand, his fingers prying it open to reveal what she was clutching. Instead of the syringe he had been certain she held, a small baby toy rested in her palm, its bright colors innocent and harmless. His eyes narrowed as he studied her face, searching for any crack in the performance she so effortlessly wore. She met his gaze with wide, feigned innocence, explaining that she had gotten lost while looking for the bathroom and had wandered into the baby's room by mistake. She claimed she had simply been captivated by the sight of the sleeping baby and wanted to admire her up close, apologizing sweetly if she had overstepped any boundaries. Wubin glanced around the nursery, his eyes scanning the floor, the crib, and the corners of the room for any trace of what he was so certain he had seen. Finding nothing out of place, he wondered for a moment if exhaustion and stress were finally beginning to play tricks on his mind. Pushing aside the unease twisting in his gut, he turned his focus back to her, his expression hardening as he told her they needed to leave. There were things that needed to be said, truths that needed to be laid bare, and he was determined to put her in her place before she slipped any deeper into his life. Yaren hesitated, her feet rooted to the spot, but Wubin's patience had run dry. He grabbed her hand firmly and led her out of the nursery and down the hallway, his grip unwavering. They descended the stairs together, their footsteps echoing in the tense silence that had settled over the house. At the bottom of the stairs, Wubin met Sonjin and Minsu's expectant gazes and told them that they were leaving. But Yaren, ever the unpredictable shadow trailing him, tugged at his hold and turned her eyes to Minsu, her voice honeyed as she asked if she could stay a little longer. She suggested that Wubin could leave if he wanted to, but she would be happy to remain behind. Wubin's jaw tightened as he cut her off before Minsu could even respond. He reminded her sharply that Sonjin and Minsu were not her friends but his, and that she had no place lingering here without him. Yaren's eyes stayed locked on Minsu's, her interest unsettling as she ignored Wubin's growing frustration. She mentioned that she had overheard Minsu talking about her graduation and asked if she could attend as well, her tone disturbingly casual as if she belonged among them. Minsu's eyes flicked to Wubin for guidance, but he didn't even give her the chance to answer. His voice was cold and final as he made it clear Yaren would not be coming, and with that, he pulled her firmly toward the door, ignoring her small protests as he led her outside and away from the fragile warmth of the house. Inside, Minsu and Sonjin stood by the foot of the stairs, the echoes of the confrontation lingering like a chill in the air. Minsu turned to Sonjin, her expression thoughtful, yet uneasy, as she confessed that she found Yaren deeply unsettling. There had been something in her eyes, something sharp and invasive, that had made her skin crawl. Sonjin only chuckled softly, brushing his lips against her forehead as he pulled her close, teasing her gently that perhaps Yaren's stare was nothing more than someone admiring her beauty, a beauty impossible not to get lost in. But even as she rested her head against his chest, Minsu couldn't shake the strange tightness in her chest, a quiet whisper that told her the night's shadows hadn't entirely left with the girl who had looked at her as though she were a puzzle yet to be solved.